10-17 mob, tag them. Mud money mob, start tagging these nigga, man. Whole lot of mob shit. Motherfucking president, nigga. Y'all better listen to me. Let's get it.
Cream man, 30 on me. Big bag, dirty on me. Yo ho, working on me. My niggas, murking homie. Hit his ass, laser tag. 50 round drum. 100 round drum. Mop him up when the time comes. Mask on, mask off. Big dog, big boss. You broke your loss. Like a tag a nigga, yeah ho. Cream man doing numbers. I got hitters, I got runners. We gon' tag them by them commas. Yeah.
30 days straight, I've been trapping. Look what happened. Bitch, I'm at you. I know about your baby mama, she get nasty. Gotta tell them to chill. Younger with me, why that action? I be in the dungeon with dragons, hot boy shit. Demons and ashes, 80 baby shit. Yo boy magic. You smell the gas through the plastic. Smoking on runs, I'm trying to stop every gram in the blunt. Asking, this ain't what you want. That laser gon' make a bitch nigga freeze. He hit my line on a Wednesday, saying to play up for Thursday. He called me back on a Friday, asking why I didn't serve him. Boy, that little money ain't worth it. Me and you was the fee and the purpose. The president, meaning I'm the plug. You lucky to see me in person, bitch. Hey, had to put the campaign on furlough. You know they be working shit. Ain't come for no problem, but shut up your partner. My youngin' be murking shit. Yeah, I taught him how to go get a bag, flip the shit and make it flip again. Talking about she can do better than me. I tell that bitch, handle your business then. I'm a business and a businessman. I'm the reason why you say your baby daddy got a brand new dental plan. How to knock out the middleman. Mud money, what I represent. Cause we got it out the mud, nigga. 10-17 mile with us. Face shaking, I don't fuck with you. 30 days I was quarantined in the trap, setting up plays, nigga. Glizzy louder than some barber clippers. I ain't gonna shoot the fade with you. Fujiana got smoke, I'ma make a call, send a couple grave diggers. He got WAP on the line telling me to chill, but they shouldn't have played with us on God. 30 days straight, I've been trapping. Look what happened. Bitch, I'm at it. I know about your baby mama, she get nasty. Gotta tell them to chill. The younger with me, by that action. I be in the dungeon with dragons, hot boy shit. Demons and ashes, 80 baby shit, dope boy magic. You smell the gas through the plastic. Smoking on runs, I'm trying to stop every gram in the blood. Asking, this ain't what you want. That laser gon' make a bitch nigga freeze.
I grew up thuggin', muggin' on the block, pussy with them same niggas. Wreck round women every day, he got a big pistol, wig splitter. Pussy nigga on the net said he a real killer. Nigga, bitch, see his ass in person, nigga did the real thriller. Pussy nigga, I been round there, well, by myself serving with a Drake. 10-17, ice on me, try to take a shoot you in the face. Yeah, get him gone, bags in, bags out, chop. Julia hit my phone, say he got a country boy, I need to come tag. Yeah, I hit the road, AMG, S550, hit the gas. Pull up, so the nigga grab, yeah, hit the gas, he was mad. But I don't really give a fuck, I'm with the mob and pussy nigga on the boss. Ho, one call, I call Cream, he gon' come through and knock a nigga off. Jill told me don't do it, but I gotta get to a nigga raw. Ho, all the mud moving slow, yeah, real slow, nigga like a slow bitch. Pussy nigga try to diss me, can't diss me, boy, it's soft. Wop said don't play with nobody, fool, you better kill them all. Ho,
30 days straight, I've been trapping. Look what happened. Bitch, I'm at it. I know about your baby mama, she get nasty. Gotta tell them to chill. The younger with me, by that action. I be in the dungeon with dragons, hot boy shit. Demons and ashes, 80 baby shit, dope boy magic. You smell the gas through the plastic. Smoking on runs, I'm trying to stop every gram in the blood. Asking, this ain't what you want. That laser gon' make a bitch nigga freeze. Tagging. Bitch, I'm mad. I know about your baby mama, she ain't nasty. Got something to kill. Y'all with me? My dad that shit. I be in the dungeon with dragons. Hot boy shit. Demons and hatches. Lady baby shit. Dope boy magic. You gotta get through the plastic. Smoking on runs. I'm gonna stop at the gram in the blood.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hey, Lissha, can you hear me, girl?
I can hear you now, T.
Awesome.
Happy Thursday, y'all. I'm sorry.
Happy Thursday.
I've been distracted all day. Let me tell you. Listen.
What happened?
I've been distracted all day, child. But you know what? It's always a good day. It's always a good distraction. You know, sometimes we forget that a lot of times in life, when we have connections or whatever it is that we're doing and God crosses across our path, you know, certain connections are inevitable. And you really have to understand that you have to bend and bow to his will, not the other way around. And when we tend to avoid certain things, he tends to let us know. Now, didn't I tell you to go do this? Or didn't I tell you to be in their presence? Or didn't I tell you to bless them? Or I told you to do something and you didn't want to do it because you were trying to avoid what I wanted you to do. And then a lot of times, you know, and it's kind of like when you allow his will, you're stepping into situations blind, but you're boldly stepping and you can't see your steps. So you don't know what's ahead. You can't see the ground until he shows you the ground. And then that's why we kind of book it. In theory, we buck to his will because we can't see the ground. And so if our eyes are not showing us, we tend not to trust it when we're supposed to trust him first. That's my little soapbox for the day, y'all. That's my soapbox for the day.
No problem. But also, you know, when you go against that will, he has a way of making sure you know this is not what I have planned. And if he doesn't do it, if you can't take it privately, he'll make it public.
Oh yeah, he'll make it public. And you'll be on the merry-go-round constantly in that merry-go-round until now you got to go back in this rotation. Now you back in the rotation because I need you to understand that trusting me is okay. And when even if you can't see the ground, you see me. And so that's all you still see. Yep, you're still supposed to move your feet. And we tend not to. And that could be because of other people, our kids, our husbands, our wives, whatever the case may be. And those are really distractions sometimes that distract you from actually moving your feet. You're supposed to move your feet. He'll make room for everything else.
So true. But you know something, Lissha? You're in a good place when you're able to recognize that.
True.
You know, when you're able to recognize it, that is so much better than just going all willy-nilly about your life and not making sure you see the signs that are before you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I was thinking about that, you know, even when bad stuff happens, we like, I wish I never would have did that. But if you wouldn't have done that, you wouldn't have done the other thing, and the other thing wouldn't have happened, and then you wouldn't have been here, and you wouldn't have met this person to get you here. So everything always works. I always say everything works in your favor. It will always fall in your favor.
Absolutely.
As long as it's meant for you to do. Now, if it's not meant, and if it's your will and not his will, then it may not be the way you want it to go. Because now he has to say, I didn't tell you to do that. Like, I never told you to do that. That wasn't a conversation I had. That was a conversation you had with yourself. Had nothing to do with me. So now I got to let you go through the motions. And I got to let you experience.
Every situation is a learning situation. So always keep that in mind. Good, bad, and ugly is always a learning situation. And we take it and we run with it. And we make it our own. And we keep ourselves accountable. Absolutely. You know, that's my word, accountability.
Yes, ma'am. And you have to. You have to. We have to stop expecting other people to be certain things to us so that we feel a certain way. We have to create these things.
Yeah, I would love to hear what our guest has to say. Have they ever even thought about it? You know, because sometimes you don't really think about something until you may subconsciously do it, but when it's brought to your attention and brought out to the forefront, you say, okay, all right, that makes sense. I never really thought about it, but now that you say it, So there's always, again, a learning moment.
Absolutely. Where you kind of think and say, I didn't see that at first, but I'm glad I did that because now I see where it all came full circle. And I didn't say anything and I didn't input myself into it. I let it work out how it's supposed to work out, the way it needed to work out. And then you're like, oh, okay, this wasn't a bad thing. But we got, let's open up, T. We always get chit chatting and then we don't open up. We got two women up in here today, y'all. They dope in real life. And so I'm excited to hear about their journey, to hear about their thoughts about our open show discussion. So go T ahead, T, open us up.
Absolutely. Now y'all heard her. She said we got 4 women up in here. So we gotta have our powerhouse tonight. We are ready. But once again, welcome to Let's Chat Live. My name is Miss Toni, and I got the one and only fabulous co-host over there, Miss Lissha. We've been doing on this journey for almost 10 years, Lissha. Where is the time going?
I know.
We originally started out in radio. That's where our grassroots started. And we started out just celebrating literature, but we have come so much further than just literature. We now celebrate the dopeness of all the arts. So we hope you guys are ready. We have 2 fabulous women once again in our show tonight. Get ready to have a great time this Thursday evening.
Absolutely. Let's bring these fabulous ladies on in. Hold on, let me fix the screen. Hey, how are you?
We are good. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
I like the other way first. So before we get started, I want you to just tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your journey into modeling and fashion and beauty in general.
So thank you for that. My name is MsDenishia. That is what I go by. That's my brand. It's part of my image because, as you ladies know, building a brand is very important.
Oh, yes.
And as far as the beauty industry, I look at it as being blessed to have, been on runways. I've been in fashion shows for designers everywhere from New York to LA, so coast to coast. I've been a part of products for makeup, like, brands, MAC, other, I worked for L'Oreal, Clinique. So, those are some of the, I guess, beauty aspects of it, along with fashion. And then, of course, I've been a hair model for a long time, which I absolutely love. The hair thing is my thing. That is my thing. You would think I was a performer the way I be flipping up this hair, girl. The hair is my thing, and I think that crosses into beauty as well. I've been the face for HBW Hair Extensions, which is a Black-owned local business here, where I'm at in Minneapolis. Shout outs to them because they've hired me as well as a few of my models that I've trained, and we've been on their promotions, campaigns. They even got me in Hype Hair magazine a couple of times. Yeah. And so the whole hair, that's a part of beauty. So I don't always correlate fashion or modeling, I should say. I do correlate fashion with beauty as well as skincare and hair, but I don't necessarily do modeling because some people think that you have to be beautiful in their way of beautiful to be a model. That's not the case. So yes, we work for beauty products and different lines, but beauty comes in all shapes and forms. So don't get into it. Some of the most unique people that people didn't feel were photogenic have made it big time. You know what I mean?
That's right. Oh, we got a little echo. Do you have another device on?
My daughter might have her phone on. Should I go tell her to turn it off?
Or go in a different room outside of your room?
Oh, you know what? No, she's in the back with her door shut, baby. It might be my cell phone. Should I turn off my cell phone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to turn off my cell phone right here, right now. It is off. Okay, hopefully that helps. But no, she's in a whole nother room.
Okay.
I hope that helps. I did turn it off just now. Okay, great. And so I'm also a model coach. I'm known as MsDenishia, the top model coach, and topmodelcoach.com is my domain. So what I like to do is I like to bring in, I like to assist aspiring models and talent and bring them into the industry. So that's what I do. I help them get started the right way, because I'm telling you, it can be very challenging when you don't know which way to go, which way to go, which door to open. Is this legit? Is this legit? Is it a scam? So that's what I really love doing. And that's what I'm here to talk about today is my new launch. My modeling bootcamp has gone virtual. So yeah. Yes.
Okay, so we got some feedback. Hold on, let me find it. Kira, do you have something on? Is that better?
It's absolutely, yes, it's much better. Yes.
Okay. Much better. All right. Sorry guys, we had to pause and do that tech moment for real quick. But listen, I'm excited for you only because I always thought about that when the pandemic dropped. I'm going to go back because we always do a goal moment first, and then I don't want us to get on the whole stroll. We forget the other stuff. So, and what a goal moment is when thought and execution come together. It's when thought and execution come together. So a lot of times we're mindful about how we pour into other people, how we treat other people, how we speak to other people, and making sure that those people are speaking right to themselves. But when it tends to come to us needing to speak to ourselves, we deal in lack, and we're like lukewarm with that. And we tend to convince ourselves why we can't do something right now. It's not the time. We don't have time. Or we let other people convince us it's not the right time. You don't have the time. You can't do this and you can't do that. Right. What was your goal moment like? Because you entered the modeling industry at the age of 12. What was that like? That was like girl magic, girl boss on the move.
So it basically, my mother, when you talk about that goal moment, my mother thought that she was going to, I don't know if she thought she was going to hurt my feelings and she thought it was funny, but she used to say, girl, you just weird. Why are you wearing that? That don't go together. And she would always make these comments about how I dress. And I took it as, hey, baby, it's okay, mama, because I know what I'm doing. This is my uniqueness. And I started expressing myself through my clothing. And I still do it to this day, but more so with the clothing and the hair. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I kind of have my signature. I wear these a lot when I'm doing my own talk show or when I'm doing, interviews such as this. And I wear an earring by the artist formerly known as, of course, Prince, because I used to work.
Just getting ready to say that.
Yeah. So I have my Afro girl, and the Afro has a crown on it. Okay, so I got my Afro on one ear and the symbol on the other, because that was also a dream of mine. And I got a chance to work for him in Minneapolis for many years. And so when my mother thought she was being funny and cute about talking about how I would dress weird, I took that. That was my goal moment. I said, how can I continue to dress and express myself and make it into something that I love to do or want to do in my career? And guess what? Modeling popped up, baby. Boom.
Yeah. You know something, MsDenishia? By you being yourself in your style, your hair, your fashion, it made you stand out. It made you unique. You didn't blend in with everything and everyone else. So you have been a standout, and you're a standout even more so today.
Thank you.
And that's confidence. Confidence steps in the room and speaks before you even say hello to people. And that confidence is very important. It's a necessity that we have that trait in anything that we're doing. And to have that at such a young age, yes, honey, yes.
Yeah, I had Black Girl Magic back then. And and I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I'm sure you read my bio, Tulsa, Oklahoma, baby. And honey, the best thing that came out of there was Black Wall Street, okay? Which is
well, still, no, it was not. My family is from Tulsa.
You're who?
My family.
Well, when I'm talking about as far as something, like a milestone, something major, like how you have New York has a lot of different things. It has Vogue magazine, it has all these. When you talk about Tulsa, it ain't much fashion, baby. Now, come on, let's keep it real. It is not much fashion. Okay, so one of the best things, especially with people of color, I feel, is Black Wall Street. That came, that's our stomping ground, and I had the pleasure. I shouldn't say the pleasure. I had the honor, literally, of revisiting it. And so, yes, in November during the pandemic, baby, and they had Black Lives Matter painted on the street. Oh,
wow!
Yes, that was in November, and it's some controversy. It was. So, it was some. They were telling me all about the controversy. They were like, "Girl, they trying to get this up off the street," and they, I was like, "They protesting, so we got to be careful out here." I'm like, "Oh my goodness, okay, let me be careful." But I had to go down there. I had to go down there and see for myself. And then when you write, Lissha, am I pronouncing it right, Miss Lissha?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're right. Your family is the best thing, and I'm the best thing that came out of Tulsa.
Well, it's full of history, like Oklahoma, just in general. It's full of history.
It is.
And,
it really is.
Monday Durant is one of my ancestors, and that's like
you said Durant. Wait a minute, you said Durant. D-U-I-N-T. Girl, I ain't gonna even finna drop names. Okay, girl. I know we know
y'all
some people.
related.
Girl, I'm like, because my closest friend, who I consider like a sister more than a friend, her last name is Durant. And I know, we know people. We know some of the same. I know we do. Cause Tulsa smile. Tulsa smile.
Yeah.
And the one I'm talking about, I invited her to watch the show tonight, so she might be tuned in. I don't know.
Well, even with Denisa, we have the fabulous Arkeah. Now, listen, I call her Arkeah because I always mess up her name, but I have been working with her just in the background for about a year now. Y'all, when I say this one dope in real life, she one of them silent dopeness where it's like you don't know really what she can do, and then it's like boom, pow, like girl. So I want you to tell everybody just a little bit about your journey.
Hi, everyone. My name is Arkeah, and yes, you did pronounce it right. I am the New Faces Director of HOP Models and Talent Agency here in Atlanta. I've been doing that for over a decade. I know I don't look like it, but they say black don't crack. So, just like MsDenishia, having years of experience in, fashion industry, working with models and other talent, it's been my pleasure and my joy to help bring other people's dreams to manifestation and carry them through their journey of, modeling or acting or just entertainment in general.
Absolutely. And what was your goal moment like when you decided to take that step? Because you do so much. And you've had many goal moments, but that one moment where you decided to say, I'm going to do this for me. What was that moment like for you?
I have those moments every day. But I probably would say, how they say when you work a 9-to-5 job, especially when you're creative and you're, you don't want to be stuck in a box. Mm-hmm. And I often saw it a lot. You're on a 9-to-5 job. You're helping somebody else bring their vision and their dreams to manifestation, and you're killing yours. Mm-hmm. And, I've always been one to work 50 jobs, call me a Jamaican, whatever, but I had 50 jobs, at the same time. And that just dawned on me like, I could put all this energy into somebody else. I could put that into my own and make it what it is. So that was my goal moment. It was like Rady said, don't go back.
Absolutely.
I like that.
And
I do too, yeah.
That's me right now, because I saw a interview with Cicely Tyson, the late Cicely Tyson at Oprah, where she was working. I want to say she worked in the government. And she just kind of stood up in the office one day and was like, I know this is not what God had in store for me. This is not what he planned for me to do the rest of my life. And I have those moments every day. Like if I'm working for it, and I actually, I was speaking with someone earlier and I told them the same thing. It's nothing wrong with working. We're not saying there's nothing wrong with working. But when you're working to help somebody else's vision and you're not growing or helping your own vision, that is a form of slavery.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's a problem.
And it's a problem. If you at work thinking about all the things that you could be doing outside of helping these people make money,
Yeah.
then you know that there's something more than what you're doing right now meant for you to do.
Right. That's right.
I just want to say, ladies, you know, these fabulous ladies, first of all, we're talking about fashion, beauty, career. I just want to say each of you have come up into this chat, Let's Chat Live, and just made a statement before you even open up your mouths. With MsDenishia, your hair is popping. I love that plunge.
It's the earring. Well, that's not
You came up in here with your hair. That was the first thing I noticed when you came up on here. Yeah, that proper color in your hair. That y'all coming in here doing y'all thing. I just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you. I'm gonna tell you one thing I noticed when Arkeah got on. I'm like, oh, I love her rap and her curves. Yes, that's my first time seeing you rock a rap, girl. It's cute.
Well, we have to flip it up. It's about to be a new season.
Absolutely.
Hello.
Now, what made you guys come together and work together as a team to grow each other's brand?
I'm gonna let Arkeah answer that because she's actually the one who connected me with you ladies.
Oh.
So, like I said, having years of working with, you know, talent models in this new age of technology, we call social media. Mm-hmm. Having the conversation with talent often, well, I have 50,000 followers on Instagram, and why am I not getting booked by da-da-da? And I'm like, because they don't care about that. No, I just wanted to create a workshop where we're teaching models, getting back to the basics. You know, you guys were talking earlier about, you know, the things of today, and you know, I was listening to your spiritual tips and things. You know, spiritually we have something called the cornerstone, and when something is not going the way that you think it should, you should always revert back to the cornerstone, that thing that is tried and true, that you know is going to produce the outcome and the results that you desire. So having this workshop, the real experts of the modeling, in a sense, what's that cornerstone for the fashion industry to show, yes, you have to adapt to the changes in the industry and the changes of time, but at the same time, there's always going to be something that is going to be consistent regardless. And that's going to be what's going to keep you having longevity and sustain you within the industry or within life, period. So having the workshop, getting back to basics, teaching models, you know, beauty, diet, especially in this pandemic, you know, you're fine. There should be no reason we talk about COVID-19 weight. We're not in college. You know, you gained that, you know, 20 years ago. You know, the importance of, you know, your runway walk. Like MsDenishia, she's the top model coach, brought on to, you know, show models when you know, walk that catwalk. This is how you do it correctly. We're not in the fancy show at college. We don't need all those poses and drop downs and dips at the end of the runway. We don't need that. You know, and then my photography with supermodel Beverly Pill, she, you know, teaching the different angles, posing, how to know you have the right image for your portfolio, how to build a portfolio. You can't go to the person that took your senior portrait thinking that's going to be a modeling image. We don't need you to look like class of 2021. That's not what this is. You know, so it's like just having years of just, and I'm amused, you know, it's, I don't want to call it entertaining, but it's just like, okay, we have to hit reset and get back to the basics and really show these models or these new age talent what it really means to have a substantial and, you know, longevity to your career. You have to start somewhere, and we're going to start to what we know is tried and true, regardless if you think it's ancient, it works.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And I'm glad that you said that and touched on that, and you're doing that, because I think in any industry, people feel like, oh, I can do that. But then you don't learn the industry. You have to understand the business side. Every industry has a business side. Yes. And if you don't understand the business side, you're kind of bumping around in the dark. And the most important part of business is branding. And you have to know how
Absolutely.
to properly brand yourself. And you have to protect your brand. So you have to know how to move, when not to move. And you don't know that up front. You have to have those people around you, which is your team. Your team you put around you, your agent, your coach. Those are the people that help you maneuver, and they teach you how to move around in that industry and what to do with your brand and how to grow it. MsDenishia, when you decided to take on the role of coach, what was the most challenging part of that process for you?
For me, the most challenging process was people coming in thinking they already knew what being a model was. That was extremely challenging. That's why that getting back to basics is so important, because I love shouting out my age. I'm just going to say it. I'm 50, baby. Okay. I'm 50. I am 50. And I tell people that because there is longevity in getting back to basics. I don't stray from much of my basics. I don't. So I am in the business long term, and that's what I tell them. It's not a fly by night. It's not. I just had a mother register her beautiful girls. I haven't met her, but I'm just saying beautiful in general. Her beautiful girls for my upcoming program that I have this weekend that's in person. And she's been going back and forth, and she was telling me some of the challenges that she has with her daughters. And one of them is confidence. And so that's what she's seeking out of this. She's not so much seeking, they're going to become a model per se, but she's definitely seeking the confidence piece. And that's that's a huge challenge. When I get these divas, baby, when I get these divas, I've had some girls come in my class from the hood, and they don't know about Tulsa. They don't know about T-Town. They don't know where I come from.
You better tell them.
They don't know. So a lot of them change their attitudes and the way they respect themselves. And that's my greatest reward. Seriously. I have a true story. A young girl who came to me, she was about 15 or 16, having issues with her mom. I don't really want to go into her name, but when I say issues, she gave me attitude, and I used to be like, honey, hey, you paid me. I don't have to take that now. Hey, do you want to learn this or not? That same young lady turned her life around because I ended up mentoring her. And she is now her and her husband own a restaurant. She's a Christian, and she teaches Christian workout, like a Christian yoga class or workout class. She's come a long way. I was a long way from when I first met the young lady. But when I first met her, it was all that head snapping and huh? No,
will we get MsDenishia that once, like, if you want us, then you're gonna fly me to where you are and pay me to be a president.
Oh my gosh. So we got an email. Well, one of somebody from Fashion Mingle got an email and was told or said that the person that wanted to come to our workshop, the Real Experts of Modeling, said that we need to fly her in to a workshop.
Why?
There you go. That's the question. That's the question that never got answered. That's the question that never got answered.
Why? What is it that you do?
Wow.
So it is a challenge dealing with a lot of female attitudes, but I'm gonna tell you, and that's what I love about working with Arkeah. I'm gonna tell you, when people act like they cannot work together or work with other females, baby, that's a sign that they got some issues. I'm just sorry. I feel that women can work together. Not everybody is going to work together, but women can work together. We can, just like men, can be the CEOs of companies and have employees that are mostly predominantly male. Women can do the same thing, baby. We can be CEOs, and we can have workers and employees that are CEOs, or we can have our partners be CEOs, and we can partner up like me and Arkeah did. We've been, oh my goodness, we've been doing quite a few things together, actually.
Well, see, that's one of the questions that I wanted to ask you, ladies. Lissha and I have been working together almost 10 years.
Wow. Okay.
There's the stigma among us. I can only speak as a Black woman, that we can't work together, that we can't be on the same page. What are some of the challenges you ladies have faced with that stigma out there? Because if you tell someone, oh, we've been working together, so oh, y'all still together?
Yeah, they act like it's a shock. They act like it's. I'm gonna tell you, I have a best friend, including the young lady I was telling you with the last name Durant, that's like my sister. I have been friends with these ladies since elementary.
Wow.
And I kid you not, I cannot name one time. And I have people that say, you've never argued with we have never argued. We've never had I'm not talking to you no more. Since elementary. I believe that when you accept a person for who they are and you truly get to know who they are and you're not making assumptions or you're not putting a label on them or you're not judging them. People all the time they tell me, oh my goodness, I'm so surprised you're so down to earth. Why are you surprised? What would you think?
And just accept each other for who they are. You know, you don't come into a relationship, whether personal or business, trying to change the other. You're trying to enhance what you all have to make it that much stronger.
That's it.
Absolutely. And then a lot of times it comes from people have preset expectations, even in relationships. And preset expectations kill everything because those are the thoughts that are in your mind. Everything is in your head till you bring it to fruition and realize it doesn't work in the real world.
Correct.
And a lot of times we look for other people to be so much to us. We look for them to fill us with the happiness that we should be filling ourselves. And we don't ask ourselves why. If you're behaving this way, if you see a pattern with something, if you start dating a certain kind of person, why? What is it? You need to know the bottom line of why you're doing something specific so that you can control and correct your own behavior and get yourself together. Because when ego comes into play, it puts you in the trick bag every time. And most of the time when women have issues, it's because that ego is there and everybody is trying to be, instead of work together, they're trying to be the one that's doing everything.
Yes.
And then sometimes it can be they don't want the accountability or the responsibility.
Of course. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. My mother always said, and I hold this to my heart, birds of the same feather flock together. So I want to flock with queens, baby. I'm just saying.
Straighten my crown real quick.
Yes, straighten your crown up, girl, because I'm loving that. I'm loving that. My mother said those words to me, and I've never forgot them. Birds of the same feather flock together. Now, you do have some people, even in the industry of modeling, getting back to that. I have had models that have told me out of their mouths, or I should say asked me, not told so much, but asked me, why are you training other models to do what we do? That's they're going to be taking our jobs. I said, baby, where's your confidence at? Seriously. Because I'm not worried about none of that. Like how you were speaking earlier, what's for you, if it's on God's plate, baby, that's what I'm going to be eating. Okay. So I've never had an issue training another model to be successful. And I'm always trying to hear success stories from my models. If they're doing something, I want to promote that. I want to share that. I'm excited for them. And some people cannot be excited for other people. They can't.
That's right.
That's right. There's enough room for all of us. And I like what Arkeah said. When I see my sister's crown needs to be adjusted, you adjust it. No words necessary.
And don't tell everybody that you did it.
That's right. You just adjust it and you carry on.
That's true. That's true. And so I love teaching other models because I have that confidence within myself. I am a God-fearing woman, and I feel like everyone on this show right here today, I already know Arkeah is because we talk. So, and you ladies are as well because of what you were lecturing earlier. I heard you. So, people can judge me. I've had people say, what's your church going to think about you modeling and wearing things that have, showing a little skin? Well, guess what? They ain't my makeup.
There you go.
Yeah, not my makeup.
There you
I'm
go.
not worried about what my pastor or what the women of the flock is saying.
That's too much energy being extended. You need to put your energy towards what you want. Not what someone else perceive you should be doing.
And you
I've
can't have
had a
everybody.
question. Yeah, but I've had it question as like Marlon and Christianity don't go hand in hand. I've had that a few times. Yeah.
But you know what? Devin Franklin, he's the author, Megan Good's husband. He wrote a book about that, and he talked about that. How he was afraid of Hollywood. But he had to step over that and walk in it. And he said, it's not Hollywood. It's what you're doing when you're in there. You can serve God, and God puts us here to be able to bless people and help people and be there for the people and be a servant.
Right.
And in my job, that's what I do. How I maneuver, how I move, how I handle myself, that's on me.
That's right.
But I could be a Christian and still do all of those things.
Absolutely.
And
I think, wow.
I think too, people forget that, especially sometimes, models and talent, you're in this industry to serve, to bring the client's vision to life. It's not about entitlement. It's not about making demands. You have all the information before you agree to take that assignment. So there's no need of taking something that you're going to turn around and then be mad at the client because they told you to put on a purple wig. You knew that before. So it's like, don't go in there making demands that you're not going to do it and walk off the set. It's like you're there to serve. So when you have that understanding, it's not about you. It's about the client and what they're booking you to do. They booked you to do a job. And if you couldn't fulfill that, you shouldn't have accepted the assignment. So like I say, getting back to the basics and just understanding that at the end of the day, like you said about the comparing one another, it's not about competing or comparing. It's about capitalizing on your own uniqueness. What makes you unique? And the real question is, are you so afraid of yourself and your own uniqueness and your own power and your purpose to the point where you want to rob somebody else because they're going through their process? No, figure you out. And then with the significance that you're desiring.
And the people around you, you have to be mindful about the people you bring into your presence, especially if you are a brand. And you have to be able to trust those people around you. When I'm working with Arkeah, listen, if she tells me, I saw this and I went on and changed it, I hope you don't mind. No, I don't mind. Because I trust that she's not going to do nothing. I mean, I trust her thought. I trust her judgment. And I trust that she told me she needed to adjust something. It's good, whatever it is. I'm not going to go back and check and make sure she did it right. No. And Miss Toni is the same way. If Miss Toni tell me the sky is orange outside, I'm be like, Miss Toni said the sky is orange outside. Well, did you look? No, I did not. Miss Toni
it's a beautiful sunset.
It's orange outside. And I'm telling you what color it is. But you have to have that kind of trust in the people around you to be able to put them in position to adjust your crown, because sometimes you're unapproachable about yourself.
Yes, that's true. Yes, a lot of people are unapproachable, and that is where that defense comes up. And I break it down really, really quick with my students. And I get into when I see a negative attitude, and I even put it in my to-do. When the last line is, come ready with a positive attitude. That is when that to bring list. That to bring list is part of that. Come with a positive attitude. That's a part of my to bring list at the very end. That's the last one I tell them, because when you come in, I've had it very, 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 very seldom, but I do remember one incident, and it was unfortunate because these two women I found out had some mental issues. They had, they had mental issues. And one of them I had to pull aside and I had to ask her and talk to her because she kept disrupting the class. She couldn't stay attentive. And so I broke the class, I took a break, and I spoke with her, and she admitted to me that she does certain things because she has to stay focused. So it's a distraction that she does to keep herself engaged. And it was very interesting. So I had that conversation with her, and she did tell me recently, a few months ago, that she has been seeking help. She's getting better. But she would just really be disruptive, and it wasn't like she was hurting anyone, but her outbursts were causing disruption from the other, students in the class. And then I had another young lady who, I mean, she just told me on Instagram out of nowhere. She said, if you don't know, I love you, MsDenishia. And I'm like, oh my gosh, and I've known her for years. And this young lady went to prison. And I had someone who knew the story. I didn't know the story. And she said, I can't believe you're working with her. Do you know that she went to prison for blah, 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 blah? I said, and? Like, that's not your job to tell me that, Right. And so I work with her. We went through the program. I never brought it up. Later, her and I had a conversation, and I asked her about it. And you know what that young lady told me? Now that we've had a good relationship, she said, whenever you want to use my mugshot is what it's called, my mugshot, and my Concord baby side by side to let people know how far I've come, you feel free to do so. She put it in the email. She said you can use that anytime you want to let people know my story.
Let her tell her story and not someone else.
And not only that, it's like a pretty face will have you surviving and striving in the industry, but that positive attitude is what makes you thrive, is what sets you apart. Clients want somebody that's pleasurable, that's attentive, that's teachable. They don't want to always be met with resistance. I'm not going to do this, and a nasty attitude. That's not pleasurable for anybody, regardless from the makeup artist down, to the model and even the client themselves. So you always have to have a positive, attitude.
Always.
And in addition to that, Arkeah, I want to say something that MsDenishia brought up at the start of the show, which is confidence. Confidence exudes power. When you feel confident in a situation, you feel that you are fearless. You're able to conquer anything. And it's the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you speak. It just exudes within you, and that confidence in a woman is so powerful. And I think we need more confidence instilled in our young adults.
And we need to stop making people think that it's something wrong with being confident. See, being confident and being conceited are two different things.
Two different things, yes.
We need to let people know that confidence is a necessity. Because when we don't allow kids growing up, listen, we got to have a teachable spirit and we have to have a moldable spirit. Because a lot of times when you are trying to learn something, that person, you're kind of becoming that person because they're teaching you what they know. And whatever they know is making you better. But you have to, when kids are younger, we can tell them, oh, don't do this, don't do that. We got to be able to show them the difference. It's okay to be confident. I need you to go in there, know who you are, know whose you are, and walk accordingly. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing. Why? Because you know who you are. If they doing such and such and you choose not to and they don't like it, that's their business.
Right. Yes, absolutely. And Ms. Lissha.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I want to make sure I'm getting it right because I know in my name is the SHIA girl be tricking people up.
I can tear her name up. So if somebody be like, that's not my name, I'll be like, girl, baby, I'm sorry.
But what you're saying is so true. And that's why with this young lady, even though she had did some time in prison, it was about, I think, 5 years. So she did some time. She was not one of those that came in with an attitude, turtling her head. She was the most humble one, and that's why we had that relationship, because she did not take her hard knock life and bring it there. And a lot of people want to do that. They want to have pity. They want people to feel sorry for them. And so they tell these stories. I tell people all the time, I don't want to tell anything that I feel is going to be used as pity. I want to work hard. And as a model, we have to work hard. Right. Being pretty ain't never enough, baby. Being cute is never enough. You know what I mean? Never enough. It's never enough. Enough. My language is never enough. So being pretty is never enough. And then you also got to understand that, as they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholders.
That's right.
Okay. And this young lady showed me in so many ways how beautiful she was inside. Because she has it hard, even to this day. A lot of things are hard for her and she was one of those unfortunate individuals that had the mental illness as well. which had something to do with her, doing that time, doing that sentence. But I'm telling you, if you are out here and you're listening, you want to be a model or an actor or entertainer, it's a lot of work, and being talented is not enough either, because you have to understand how to conduct your business. Like, Miss Lissha said earlier, how do you conduct your business? You have to know who you are when you step into that room, and you can't worry about other people. You have to really be grounded. And that's why getting back to basics is so important. It's so important, because what they're seeing out here, like Arkeah was saying earlier, that Instagram and all of that, somebody said that Facebook, Insta or something. Somebody said something funny on a show one time. They said, I don't do that face Insta book or whatever. They flipped it all around. But I'm telling you, looking at the social media will get you caught up in a wrong way.
That's right.
Right. False sense of security. Right.
And when you think about it, even though as devastating COVID was, and I'm going to use the word pivot, but that's kind of an overused word. But in life, we have to reset and we have to pivot. We can't say, okay, this is going on. Oh my God, I can't just do what I want. So many people learned how to give themselves the skills, because this is the thing. We can ask somebody to do something, but if that's not a natural skill that person has, they're going to have to learn how to do it.
Correct. Exactly.
In order to give you what it is that you want. And that goes for yourself. If you want certain things and it's not a natural skill that you have, you have to learn. You have to teach yourself what it is that you want to do so that you can move the way you want to move. And I don't care what it is.
That's exactly right.
And I use the example too, when models assume, oh, I have agency representation, they're supposed to cover my portfolio expenses and fly me here, fly me there. I say, when you go to college, you don't tell them, oh, I want my diploma first, and then I'll decide to pay you your tuition if I get a job in my field. That's not how it works. So, listen to the right people. Like MsDenishia was saying, it's an investment. You have to be prepared to put in the time, the effort, the energy to learn your skill set, to perfect your craft. That's what it is. You're a product or a package that's being marketed, to somebody. You can't take that lightly, and the responsibility does not solely fall on the agency to make it happen for you.
Absolutely. And people go ahead, Missy.
I was saying, when to piggyback on what Arkeah was saying, when I was 19 and I went to New York from Tulsa, I moved to New York, my agent told me, she met me at a competition. I had entered a competition, and I found out that being a pageant girl was not for me, but she was a part of the modeling competition. And that's the part that I thrived in, was modeling. I wasn't a pageant girl. And so she said, if you ever come to New York, look me up. And she stood by her word. Grace Del Marco agency in the Empire State Building, 17th floor. I never forget. It was maybe it was a 20. I might have forgot the floor, so let me stop that. I might forgot the floor number. But she was in the Empire State Building. And I found out later, her and I had the same birthday.
Wow.
We were both Leos, and I went to New York in 19. That lady kept her word. Unfortunately, she passed away. I think it was 2018 or 17. So not that long ago. And she told me, we want to work with you, but we have a class. And at that time, it was very reasonable. But she said, you got to pay $20 a week to get your runway lesson. You got to take these classes for, I think it was like 4 weeks or 6 weeks. My runway coach was a male named Drew. His name was Drew, honey. And Drew did not play. And he taught me how to walk. So my walk that I have was a walk that I had to learn. I'm just saying. So I paid my little money. They didn't pay for it. They didn't pay for my classes. And then she said, you need to build up your portfolio. I'm from Tulsa. I didn't know what kind of pictures and stuff, but she liked my look. Like Arkeah has mentioned before, some people do have that it. They have it naturally, but I still had to be properly trained. So they connected me with photographers, and then I had to pay for my portfolio. I had to pay for my comp card. I had to do all that myself. They didn't move me to New York.
But I think that's a problem today, where everybody wants everything given to them, and they think that work that.
Well, that's why they don't got it. Miss Toni, that's why they don't got it.
Exactly. They're waiting for somebody to hand it to them.
To hand it to them.
And they don't keep waiting.
But you know what it is? It really goes back to programming. Because if we think about it, women are raised with the idea of an older era of women. And those were women that were kept. Back in the days, they were kept. They didn't have to work. They didn't do none of that. They had kids. They took care of the house. That's what they did. Their husbands did everything else. They were kept. But nowadays, we have a different world, and we have to approach things differently. People aren't just going to hand stuff to you just because.
Mm-hmm.
And if they are handing it to you, it's always something with that. People are like,
look, I got the church finger. Can I was like, I don't know about it being kept because, especially in my family and the generations, husband and wife work together. That's
right. That's what in my generation too.
Arkeah. Whether you was tending to the garden or he was in the city or whatever, it was a team effort. Weren't no women kept. We took care of each other. So that's the thing. This generation, it's about partnership, and like we're talking about during this conversation, teamwork. Putting together the right thing that you trust. It's not your barking orders. Ain't nobody a boss. It's about being a leader. Being able to create the people around that you can entrust to be able to handle your business as though it was you there. And in this generation, God bless.
But it goes to how they grow, though. You know what I'm saying? Because now that you're older and you're doing certain things, you have some that feel that it's expected. Like, you're just supposed to give it to me. Like, you need to fly me out if you want me to come to your event.
Mm-hmm.
Why? If you tell me why I need to fly you out to be trained.
But that's still not a reason.
But you didn't tell me why. But it's the audacity. Like,
it's the audacity. Yes, we were stunned. We laughed. Actually, I think that's what we ended up doing. We laughed about it. Yeah.
She hasn't made it there yet.
but it comes
I haven't seen it.
Listen, it comes from just that training to know that, it's okay that we treat our children a certain way, but we have to let really, as they get a certain age, especially girls, let them know that when you want something, you got to work 25 times harder to get it. And people are going to expect for you to be half naked to get it. No. And if you're half naked, they're going to expect for you not to have no brains. No, that ain't true either. The expectation is if you're cute, you're not smart. If you're smart, you're not cute. We have to stop that. We have to let them know you're going to have to work hard.
Yes.
Right. And in the industry, I tell them, especially with their images, we here to sell product, not body parts. Come on,
Thank you.
I ain't never seen a leg sell a tube of toothpaste. I'm just saying, flashing food, that ain't got nobody on Mercedes. I'm just saying, we here to sell products.
Well, I want to go back to something that you had said earlier in the interview, Ms. Arkeah, and that's that image, taking out your professional photos, your headshot. A lot of our young people think that a bathroom shot is a headshot.
Oh, that's a selfie.
You have to realize, those selfies. You have to, and again, you have to extend yourself. You got to pay for those professional shots. When someone is calling you up and telling you to send them an EPK, electronic press kit,
and they're like, what's that?
First of all, you gotta know what it is, right? But they don't want to see your selfie that you took because the bathroom light is good. So those are the type of things that we try to instill in our young people for them to carry on further in life. So those are like teaching tools. And I think that we need a lot more of that. Those that want to teach them the right way and train them the right way.
Right. That's why we need what they're doing.
Exactly.
Because we need them to understand what branding is. You have to, as an agent, as a coach, as just a mentor, you have to be able to say, listen, this is not what this is. I need you to go get a professional headshot.
Yes.
And then don't be trying to bargain with me either. That's not what this is either.
We're not bargaining.
Well, if you can't take my pictures, then I'm just not gonna work with you. Bye. Okay. Because that's not what this is either. This is not a dictatorship. You have to have the other thing. Well,
and you can't bargain. Listen, this is the thing. When you put yourself on the discount shelf, like when you go to Target got the one aisle, everything discounted on that aisle. But when people go to that aisle, what are they looking for? They are looking for a discount.
Yeah.
And in order to move your brand in a specific direction, you got to take yourself off that discount aisle at some point in time, step into the regular aisle, and sometimes you're going to have to say no. And sometimes you're going to have to allow people to be like, well, okay, well, they're going to have to pass you by. And it's going to be okay. Because when you want to change things, first of all, it starts with your mindset. Yeah. And then it starts with in your action. And so if you're saying, I'm not going to be discounted anymore for anything that I do, you have to stick with that.
Right.
Now, MsDenishia, you're an author as well. What was that process like for you to go from one extreme to the next?
Yeah, I'm still in the process. Woo! Honey, let me tell you. Being an author, so basically what I did was I took my Modeling Bootcamp Handbook, which my students are required to purchase when they do the Modeling Bootcamp. And yes, they're required to purchase that as an additional tool. And that tool has information that's pertinent to their success after they leave the program. Because I'm not one to go and look at the book and read the whole thing and just read to you. We have to actually do runway. We have to be and practice posing. We need to pick up a script and read it. So my program is very hands-on. So the book is tangible. It's something that they actually get to take away and they can keep. They can look back. It talks about what goes in a model bag. It talks about tips from an agency, what agencies look for to be agency ready. It talks about the 15 golden rules why a client won't hire you back.
Now, do they have to be part of your program to get that book, or can they purchase it if they're a model and they're like, okay, this is it's a tool that I need to have in my arsenal? Can they?
That's what I'm working. That's what that author is. What we doing? That's the publication I'm trying to get out right now. I'm trying to self-publish, and Arkeah is very aware of this, and she's been helping me. I'm trying to self-publish. So my handbook that I have for the students is only 25 pages. The published book is 65 pages. So I had to go a lot deeper, and into that book. So it's more of a actual book that people will want to buy. So that to answer your question, it's coming.
Awesome. Because those are the type of tools that can take them further, and not just on the modeling scale, but just in general. You never know where you may need those tools in whatever given situation that you find yourself in.
Absolutely.
Right. And I tell people, all the time, modeling, acting, it's all going to teach you life lessons if you allow it to. For every audition you went to that you didn't get, it's going to teach you how to deal with discouragement. All the people that you meet is going to teach you how to be personable and engage and build friendships and good relationships. So if you allow yourself to take something away from your experiences, then you've already learned some life skills that you can carry on with you, throughout this experience.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And
now
go ahead,
MsDenishia.
No, I was just saying that with my program too, I also, as Arkeah was saying, with the acting and modeling, I also teach them the difference, because there's a huge difference. Some models think that they could be, actors, and they don't know how to read a script. They have no idea what a mark is. They don't know how to slate. They don't know how to what cut means. It means cut. They don't know what, start from, take it to the top. They don't know what that even means. It's interesting that so many people, want to be in this industry, and they look at these celebrities with success and they think that they just walked on a set. No, baby.
That was years.
That's right.
Many of them also went to Juilliard or higher schools to really perform. I mean, look at Fame, baby. That's one of my favorite shows. Okay, look at Fame. You know, I mean, this is a real industry. It's real, and people don't want to pay their dues to get to that next level. They don't want to pay the dues. They just want to go, and that's where that longevity comes from. That you're not going to last long if you don't invest in yourself. I'm telling anyone that's watching this. If you don't invest in yourself, you're going to get what you put into it, nothing.
Nothing.
Okay? I'm just saying.
Preach.
You're going to get what you put into it. And so I have learned, and I'm going to tell you, this is the truth. When my career, after I put in, it took a couple years for me to start working. I think it was about 2 years for me to be able to quit my job and start working enough. I'm not saying making bank, but enough to say, okay, I'm making about the same amount of money. I'm working at my job. I can quit. And it took me about 4 to 6 years to really start, feeling like, okay, I'm a full-time model, It took a while, but that's after photo shoot, after comp cards, after, tons of putting investment. And then this is my story. With that being said, when I started making more money as a model, I kept investing. I kept building 2 comp cards, not one every year. I would do 2 comp cards because I would want clients to know that I'm working and that I got new people, and this is how I look now. And I'm going to tell you, those were the best times for me to work because clients were seeing, oh, wow, this ain't the same comp card. Oh, wow, what is she at now? And that kept me fresh.
Right.
My woman keep comp cards for 2 and 5 years.
Wow.
How do you look now? You don't look the same 5 years from now. Come on now. Come on now.
Wow.
Invest a little bit. Invest a little bit if you want success. Invest a little bit.
And that's in any industry. And anything that you're doing, you have to invest in yourself. Now, both of you women, you have a very strong voice and a powerful platform. What does that power mean to each of you? Kia?
What does that power move mean? Being able to just live by example and inspire others to find and use their voices in the right way to make it work for you and not against you. I think that's with any, power platform that you have. You want to be able to have a positive impact and be a motivational force in someone's life.
And MsDenishia?
What it's done for me, or what it means to me, is mentorship. I mentor a lot of young ladies that want to be in the field that I'm in. They want to be a model. And so it gives me a chance to actually use my voice and my power to get close enough to really understand who they are as an individual. And that's where the mentorship comes in. And so I also give back. And because when I was younger, we had to put in a little bit of give back. We had to do charitable work. We had to do, the fashion show at the church or the fashion show fundraisers. So I have made that commitment to do 1 fashion show a year. And I've been doing it since 2006. And my models do not get paid for that. They have to volunteer. It's all up to them, but they are all my students. I don't even let outsiders come in. It's all my students from my program get the opportunity to be on the catwalk. Their family and friends come out and support, and we hand over a check to a good cause every single year.
Absolutely. Now, on this chat, this is both you guys' first time. We don't want it to be your last. You are all both welcome back anytime, even if you just got something on your spirit you just want to sit back, kick back, and talk about. We always do something a little fun because we like to be able to show all angles of our guests. Because when you are branding, when you are a business, you are always constantly rebuilding yourself because you're always being introduced to people that may not be familiar with who you are and what it is that you do. And so we like to be able to show all shades because that's the why for what you do is what really draws people into you. And they're like, oh, wow, I like this. Let me see how I can be a part of it, or how I can take the class, or I need to be part of the agency, or just anything. But they're able to see you in your element and kind of how you move when you are in the zone. So Tika's going to ask you a fun question.
I know, man. Okay, we both like, whoa, okay. Here we go.
Don't worry. It's fun. It's fun. I'm excited because I knew I was going to ask them this question as soon as they popped up, Leash.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I have 9 left on my phone. Let's see if we can get it. Go ahead.
Lissha and I here on Let's Chat, we have this garden growing. We actually had to buy some more real estate last week because it's just growing. So we want you guys to add to our garden. We want you to add a flower, a tree, a shrub, or whatever that best describes you. And what color would it be? And we want to know why you chose that particular thing. Let's start with MsDenishia.
Birds of paradise. It's exotic, it's colorful, and it was the first time I discovered it is when I realized that the artist formerly known as Prince, that was a flower that he enjoyed as well. And that's been a flower that I don't see very often. So that brings that uniqueness, and it's very colorful. Okay. And it's a little bit weird, as my mother would call it. Okay. It's a little bit weird.
You're the first bird of paradise in our garden. Yeah, first one.
Awesome.
I'm probably get too deep with mine. First thing that came to thought for me was the Rose of Sharon.
Ooh. Okay.
Pink, because that's my favorite
rose. Is that the friendship rose?
Oh, it's a biblical rose. No, the friendship rose is something else. I forgot what that is. But yeah, that's like the yellow one.
You're the first one with that one too.
I also like the orchid as well.
See, I knew it would be unique. I knew it would be special. And you guys are the first ones to put in our garden the bird of paradise and the rose of Sharon. I love it.
And they're both gorgeous flowers. I love them both. I appreciate y'all because now we're gonna have our garden about to be popping.
Okay, popping.
Yeah, our garden popping. We so appreciate you guys coming to kick it with us here in the chat room. Now we want you to shout out all of your social media and your business information because it might be some clients that need an agent, and it might be somebody that needs to attend your coaching class. Tell everybody when your event is going to be and what they need to do if they would like to sign up.
Okay. So again, Arkeah had set this up for me to promote one of my events that's coming up. It's called the Virtual Modeling Bootcamp. I've been doing modeling bootcamps in person since 2006. You can find that at Fashion Mingle, FASHIN. Whoa, my goodness. FASHIONMINGLE.net. And when you go there, you can look down what's on the website now. It's at the bottom. You have to pay attention. They have the my flyer at the bottom, and just wait for it to scroll by and click it. And then you can learn more there. But eventually it will be in, I believe, the events and opportunity workshops. Yes. But it went live today. So you can look at see the flyer. Yeah, I'm so excited. FashionMingle.net. You can find that workshop, and that's going down April 10th. Awesome. April 10th. Awesome. Yes, at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will be a 2-hour workshop, and I'm very excited about that because I'm also give a one-on-one after that as a post lesson. So I love coaching so much. I really do. So everyone that registers will also get that, and they get that 15 golden rules why a client would not hire certain talent back.
Oh,
yeah. They register as a free PDF, so get that, baby, and take heed. So my social channels is at the spelling of my name that you see on the screen, at MsDenishia, at MsDenishia, and that's all my social channels: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, yes, and also LinkedIn.
We love that consistent branding. That's right. We say that all the time. You can't be Sassy Susie, Hot Mama 21, and then on Twitter you something else. Who gonna find you? Yes, ma'am. I'm here for it. And Kia?
And our website
Coach.com.
Yeah,
I forgot that.
our website is www.hopmodels.com, and on all social media platforms is HOP Models, MODELS.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, ladies, please come back and join Lissha and I. This is your home now. You're always welcome. Just let us know when you want it to happen, and it will be.
Oh,
Thank
thank you,
you.
ladies. Yes.
You're
We
so
appreciate
welcome.
you guys.
It's been a pleasure.
Same here.
And we will see you guys soon. Kia, I appreciate you. Thank you so
Oh,
very
anytime. My
much.
pleasure. Thank you.
I appreciate you, Miss Toni, Miss Lissha. I appreciate all you ladies. I
Oh,
appreciate you.
Well,
yeah,
we
you
want to thank
too.
you. You keep doing what you're doing because they need it. You know,
Yes.
sometimes people just need to be loved on and directed in a loving way, and you keep doing that. And if people ain't gonna like it, they just don't have to like it. But you are here for a purpose. That is your service to people as a Christian. That is your
Yes.
service to help not only just teach them and guide them, but to love on them.
What do I say, Arkeah? What do I say?
Keep it on push.
Woo, woo. I didn't get to put that in, but that's one of my taglines.
Yes,
I say keep it on push, baby. Yes.
And we will talk to you guys, ladies.
All right.
You ladies
Bye.
soon. Bye. Oh my God, it's so wonderful, y'all. Listen,
Yes, they're awesome.
we thank you guys. You know, if we could say thank you a million times, it still would not be enough. That's my new saying. I done said that like 6 times this week. Just showing appreciation. We thank you guys for always supporting us, whatever it is that we are doing. We will see you guys on tomorrow. We'll be on the radio show. But thank you guys. Thank you so very much. If you're interested in doing the modeling boot camp and you didn't get the information that scrolled across the bottom, just hit our inbox and we'll be able to pass that information on to you. Again, it's going to be her modeling boot camp. And listen, if you're thinking about being a model, if you want to be a better model, you have to have that guidance. You have to have somebody that's going to put you in position. And
That
honey,
knows it.
MsDenishia is here to do that.
Right. So much and more. So we hope you guys enjoyed the show. You took your notes, get on those websites, and we so appreciate you. Like Lissha said, if we can say it, thank you a million times, it would never be enough. So thank you
Absolutely.
a million one.
And we'll see you guys next week. We got a good show next week. But we appreciate you guys. Love y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye.